After 16 years of living in New York, child, I done forgot what space feels like. So when I moved back to LA, everything changed because now space has purpose. I finally have a bedroom. Not a corner, not a section, a room, which meant that I could be intentional, not just about how it looks, but how it feels. In the rest of my apartment, the palette is really restrained, and the bedroom still fits within that, but just with a different intention. Still urban minimalist. I wanted it to feel softer, more intimate, more grounded. Instead of forcing a vision, I really opened myself up to exploration. I didn't always know what I was looking for, but I knew when something felt right. So let's start from the beginning. In a space that's meant for rest, function comes first. So naturally, the first piece was the bed. So earlier today, I went shopping for a mattress, and so I finally got that. I don't have a bed frame yet, but at least I have the mattress. So I'm about to unbox that, and at least then I'll have something to sleep on until I figure out my bed frame situation. I originally wanted a wooden bed frame, something very mid-century. I had my sights set on the Floyd bed frame, but every time I saw one on Marketplace, it would sell within a couple of hours, so it just never lined up. But this is where a good Pinterest board comes in handy. I started to look closer at the spaces that I was drawn to, and most of them didn't highlight the bed frame at all. And that really shifted my thinking about the bed frame. When all else fails, minimal. I didn't need the bed frame to stand out. I needed it to blend. I landed on this black bed frame that I purchased from Amazon. I had owned a very similar bed frame in my New York City apartment, but a slightly different silhouette. I remembered it being very sturdy and of surprisingly good quality. I was very pleased with how easy it was for me to put this together on my own. Okay, I'm gonna make a little bit of a confession here, and I want you to stay with me because I know that it's gonna come as a little bit of a surprise. I added color. But the rest of the apartment is so restrained. I wanted the bedroom to feel different. When I looked at my Pinterest board, I noticed that most of the rooms either didn't have headboards or there was a subtle use of paint to define the space and add a little visual interest where the headboard would have been. I had actually explored this concept before in one of my apartments in New York, so it felt really familiar. So instead of buying a headboard, I painted one. First step was to take some measurements to determine the placement. Then I got to work lightly tracing out the shape in pencil. Once the shape was completed, the next step was to tape off the area using painter's tape. I went over the tape with the original wall color to ensure that the color would not bleed through. Then it was time to apply the color. I went with this gorgeous burnt orange color from Glidden. I added a second coat to ensure that the color would be rich and warm. Okay, so it's almost dry, but not all the way. And I was always told that you're supposed to peel tape when it's still a little damp, so I'm actually gonna peel it now. Let's see how that goes. It looks pretty good. I actually did change the shape after I had already taped it off, so I'm gonna have to clean up those little pencil marks. But other than that, it looks pretty good. It's gonna look even better during the daytime, so I'm gonna clean up a little bit and put some fresh bedding on. I'm not gonna lie, I was starting to get a little geeked up because I loved how that orange came out. So I liked my old bedding so much that I just repurchased it. So I just have the same bedding, but I'm just gonna put on a fresh pair. So yeah. I ended up bringing my actual duvet and pillows with me from New York. So as is the nature of purchasing things online, especially when you purchase them like years apart and expect them to be the same, the bedding is actually a slightly lighter shade than the ones that I had purchased years ago. You can kind of see the difference here. I'm just gonna live with it for now, but who knows, I might actually like this shade better, but we'll see. This is how it's looking now. I think I'll add some additional footage in the morning when the natural light is coming in so you can see it a little bit better. But I think it's coming along. It looks really good. One of the best features of this room is that it opens up to the outdoor space. It was important for me to treat it in a way that really elevates it. So I decided to go with floor-to-ceiling curtains across the entire wall. Okay, so I've got the tension rods here. They're still in the little plastic, but because my original intention was to do track, I wanted a really skinny, kind of minimal tension rod go all the way across, but it's hard to tell when you're looking online what the diameter of these rods are, and this is actually probably the thickest rod that I've ever seen in my life. I'm just gonna roll with it. I went with white linen drapes and added 2 earth tone panels in the center to add a little bit of depth. I made sure that they were long enough to pull up at the bottom on the floor. I wanted that slightly undone, relaxed look. It was a little tricky to install alone, but I was able to make it work. Originally, I thought about doing a ceiling track to get that really clean hotel-like look, but with the texture on my ceiling, I wasn't confident that it would install well. I honestly didn't even know you could get tension rods this long. Once they were up, the whole room just felt softer. This was exactly the transition to cozy that I was hoping for. I'm on my way right now to pick up the 2 tables that I want to use as nightstands for my bedroom. So I'm really excited to see what they look like in person, but I already think that they're going to be a pretty good match. So I'm about to meet up with the first seller now. All right, so I picked up table number 1, and I think it looks pretty good. I really like the shape of it. It's exactly as described, so I think this is going to be a really good fit for my nightstand. As I'm out and about to pick up these tables, I actually decided to stop by one of my favorite little coffee shops. It's called La La Land. And I got this lavender bloom latte. It's like espresso with oat milk on the top and then like a lavender on the bottom. I'm about to kill this. This was worth the outing alone. So let's get these tables. Okay, so I just picked up table number 2 and it looks pretty good. I think this is going to be a really good addition to my apartment, and I'm excited to get this home as well. I think these tables are going to complement each other really well, so I'm kind of excited to get these home and get them into my room. So I think that the tables are a pretty good match for what I was looking for. They're not too matchy. They're a slightly different finish and they have slightly different shape, but I think that's gonna work really well for creating that organic vibe that I want in my bedroom. I'm excited to get these in there and see how they look. I wanted to create a small seating area on the opposite side of the room. Nothing too formal, but I just wanted to balance out the space with an area to sit. Unfortunately, I did not film the process, but the first thing I picked up for the seating area was this angular concrete side table that I found on Facebook Marketplace. Next, it was time to figure out the seating. So I actually jumped in my car, picking up another thing from my bedroom. I am quite a bit of a ways outside of LA, about 25 minutes outside of LA, and I'm going to pick up this leather ottoman that I saw on Facebook Marketplace. So come with me to get that. All right, so I already picked it up, and unfortunately it's still in the box. Otherwise I would have tried to snap a picture of it or something when I was doing the pickup, but it actually is still in the box. So I will show it to you when I take it out of the box at home. But it's back there. Once the ottoman was in place, I actually really liked the direction that things were going, but the table started to feel a little too predictable. The space just needed more tension. So I have that little seating area in my bedroom now where I put the brown ottoman, and the little stone table that's there next to it, I liked it, but once I got the brown ottoman in there, I just wish that it was a little more unique, a little more interesting. And so I put that in the back of my mind. I was looking at this little blue statue, like a Greek statue, or I think it's a statue of David, that I was gonna sit on the table to kind of just give it some color and just, kind of make it look a little bit more interesting. And unfortunately, before I could buy it, somebody somebody bought it. So I ended up missing out on it. But then I was searching through Facebook Marketplace, and crazy enough, I ended up finding a table that's like a Greek statue with the top of its head cut off. And so I actually think I'm going to swap out the table altogether and replace it with this table that I'm about to pick up, so that I'm basically getting the same kind of like dynamic as that little blue statue of David that I was gonna put in there. Hopefully it looks good in person, and if so, then I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. So it worked out. I picked it up. You can kind of see him back there. You can't see his face because of the way I laid him down, but you can see him. So when I get him home, we'll have a closer look. Then I picked up this lamp from IKEA. It has that slightly utilitarian feel, which gives the whole corner a bit more edge. Okay, so I'm back on my Facebook Marketplace grind again. I've driven to downtown LA, and I'm actually picking up the Virgil Abloh Figures of Speech book, the coffee table book. I've really been wanting this for a long time. I found a seller who had it at a really good price. So I just drove downtown to downtown LA. It's like actually more like Chinatown downtown. So I'm about to go get that, and I'll be back once I have secured the bag. Okay, so I just picked up the book. Hey, it's I guess in decent shape. The book normally comes with a like a box sleeve that goes over it, so it's like one of those sort of like box setty kind of books. This one doesn't have it, but I'm still pretty happy with it. But this is the Virgil Abloh Figures of Speech. I've been wanting this book for a really long time, so I think this was a good way for me to get the book at a good price, and I think it would also look really, really good in my apartment. The final piece to come together was the lighting. And just like the table, I had something that I thought would work, but it just never really clicked. So I just kept looking while keeping an open mind. And let me tell you, what I ended up with is completely different than what I originally had in mind. I just finished a work activation, and I've decided to go out to Redondo Beach to pick up a light fixture that I want to use in my bedroom. So this is like the crazy things that we do when we're shopping on Facebook Marketplace. So I'm going all the way out to Redondo Beach. Hopefully the light fixture is as described and it works out. All right, so I just made it to Redondo Beach, and I'm actually about to meet up with the seller. So I got it, and I love it. We are gonna do some cute things with this guy. It's huge. So let's get it loaded up in my trunk. So I just picked it up, got it at an amazing price. The seller was super cool, right on time. So I am thrilled. I'm excited. Okay, so I wanted to pop in really quick because I made a small pivot with the blue table lamp in my bedroom. Look, my apartment is looking pretty good right now, and I really don't have a need for a lot of stuff, but I still find myself obsessively scrolling on Facebook Marketplace. So I decided to turn that habit into a new series, finding curated items on Facebook Marketplace, and I rehomed them with people who enjoy the urban minimalist aesthetic as much as we do. But there was a little bit of a snag. The very first Marketplace item that I sourced for this series was a floor lamp from West Elm. It was supposed to be the first item in this new series, so I filmed the segment and put the footage to the side so that I could edit it later. But I just kept looking at that floor lamp and thinking, I wonder what that would look like in my bedroom. This video that you're watching right now, I had already finished it, edited it, made a thumbnail, it was ready to go, but I just couldn't get it out of my mind. And so I ended up trying that lamp out in my bedroom. And of course I loved it. Even though I think the other lamp had an edgier look to it, which I think is also very indicative of my personal style, there's something that just works about the new lamp a little bit more. It's almost like it signals a more mature era of my design choices. Like I feel like, yes, the first lamp worked, but this one just feels like the grown-up version of me. So I kept the lamp, and because of that, the new series is off to a little bit of a delay. But I promise I'll be back with that series as soon as I can find an item that I'm actually willing to part ways with. But until then, please enjoy the reveal. For years, home was one room. One place for everything. Now, there's space. Space to reset. Space to be still. And somehow, that changes everything. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate having a space to share this journey with you. So if you haven't already, I really hope that you subscribe. And listen, I want you to hype this video up so that more people can see it. I will see you on the next video.